Hi, I'm Dr. Mike, and this is NFGeeks. Tonight on the Facebook NFGeeks forum is the Night of the Witch, where people sort of get to post things that scare them or scary stuff, you know, because witches meet on Friday night and things like that. So it's an opportunity for people to kind of just talk and share things that are sort of scary or frightening, it could be supernatural or otherwise, doesn't matter, real or imaginary. Just sort of fun and having a good scare, talking about scary stuff. And tonight's topic is what I want is for people to talk about and post things about various fictional things that they really like that are scary or because it scares them and how it relates to their personality type. And that can be a book or a movie or a TV show, or a video game or a song or a piece of art or whatever, but anything that's sort of that's like that touches you and that is scary, and you like and has something to do with your type, whatever, that's what I want people to talk about. So I'm going to talk about mine, and it's actually something I've sort of talked on the forum before, but I have some additional things about typology with it that I want to talk about, and excuse me, it's a little too long for a post, so I thought I would make a video instead, and it's kind of funny. It has some funny moments, so I think it'd be funnier if I made a video than if I just wrote about it. So I want to talk about mine, and mine's a video game series, and so my favorite scary thing, and it's some of my favorite video games, and they're called the Fatal Frame series, okay? And these came out, these are for the PlayStation 2. The first one came out maybe 10 years ago, maybe more. And there's 3 of these games. They're discontinued. They're tough to find if you want to play them. Some are for the Xbox, and most are for the PlayStation 2. And these are my favorite games, and these are I've really had good scare moments with them. So they're in the horror genre of video games, and they rank pretty high. Okay, they usually come in the top 10, top 5. I've seen them come in at top 2. For me, it's number 1. I like these. Silent Hill is always at the top, but I like Fatal Frame a lot better than Silent Hill. So let me give you the basic theme of the games. There's 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3, and the theme is pretty much the same. You are a teenage Japanese girl as the character, and there is this giant ghost haunted mansion, Japanese haunted mansion, and old, so there's kimonos and sliding doors and all that. This old mansion, and everyone in the mansion is a ghost from some horrible event. There was this ritual to keep a hell gate closed or something that needed to be performed. There needed to be the sacrificial maiden. The ritual went wrong, and some sort of horrifying thing came out of the hell gate, and everybody died and turned into these horrible ghosts. And the maiden herself wanders the mansion or the village or whatever, seeking revenge or something like that. So that's basically the setting. The second thing that happens is you have some sort of relative or loved one also in the mansion that's being spirited away or something, and so you're looking for them at the same time. So you're looking for someone and at the same time trying to figure out what the heck happened that caused this mess. And throughout this house or village, there's tons of ghosts, okay? And the only way you can fight them is with the camera obscura, which is this very old camera. And what happens is magical camera, and when the ghosts get close, you take pictures of them, and eventually you sort of destroy them or they go away or whatever. And it's particularly scary because you can't take the picture from far away because it really doesn't, take away their power. You got to wait till the ghost is like right up, like this close, and then you take the picture. So you're gonna get this horrifying view. And sometimes they're moving fast; they're coming right in, and you got to take the picture. Okay. So it's particularly scary in terms of the way they use the ghosts or whatever. But the story of each ghost, it's very, very NF. And this is what I like about it. The whole thing is very sad. Like, it's gruesome and macabre, but it's also sad. For whatever's going on. Like the ritual is always screwed up because the maiden falls in love or has some sort of relationship that's of this world or some kind of thing. Everyone in in the haunted house or the village have these stories that are connected to this horrible ritual and thing that they have to do, and you know, and they all get hurt by it, and they're all scared. They're all like, you know, scared and horrified. You know, they're not like evil, one-dimensional. I'm gonna get you. You know, they all have this sort of past and this backstory, and that's relating to why they're a ghost and why they're acting that way and why they're so upset. Okay, you know. So, for example, in one of the games, there's this little girl, and nothing is creepier than kid ghosts. So let me tell you, there's this little girl who's like 10, and she's freaking out because whatever the thing is happening in this village, this calamity is happening, everyone's dying, whatever. And so she's hiding in closets, you know, trying to protect herself, and she's scared to death because she can't see well, and she's got these twin brothers, and she's got this bell, and she's trying to get the brothers, you know, to help, you know, sort of this little help bell, but they don't come to help because they're freaking dead. Okay, one of the twins was killed in a ritual, and the other one hung himself. Okay, so you know they're not coming, and when you're fighting her, you know she's screaming, she's wailing, she's trying to get you, but sometimes in the middle of fighting her with the camera, you see her on her knees and she's bawling. You know, that she's just bawling because she's scared or whatever, and so it's always like, oh God, it's too much. You know, this is one of the only games. In fact, I think it is the only game where I dread the cutscene. Okay, when the cutscenes come up, I'm never happy about it. Other games, that's not the case. You know, the cutscene comes up, and something cool's going to happen, or exciting, or plot twist. You know, it's going to come up. Nothing's better than a good Legend of Zelda cutscene. You know, even if you've seen it 100 times. You know, it's fun. Not in Fatal Frame. The cutscene comes up, and it's immediately like, oh God, cutscene, because something awful is going to happen. Something scary, something gruesome, something awful is going to happen, and then right after that, something's awful going to happen. You have to fight a ghost or deal with something horrible or whatever. So there's never anything good out of a cutscene. It's just immediately this horrible feeling. Okay. So one of the reasons why I like these games so much is because of my first experience with them. And I've kind of told this story before, but I want to tell it again because it's really one of the reasons why I'm picking this for tonight and the topic for tonight, because this experience was really a lot of fun to think about now. Not at the time, but it brings a lot of enjoyment to my heart about these games. This is why I picked this topic, just so I could tell this story. Well, this first thing, tell the story. All right, so this is about 10 years ago or so, and at this point in my gaming life, everything's centered around Noah, so it's all about the GameCube and maybe, you know, leftover things from the Nintendo 64. Because GameCube, just like, you know, Wii and the U now, is very kid-friendly. So, you know, I'm not interested in playing like Mortal Kombat where people's skulls get crushed or whatever. You know, I'm looking for games like, you know, Mario Kart or whatever, you know, that Noah can play. Good ones, you know, Legend of Zelda, whatever. But, you know, kid ones. I mean, it's Wind Waker, the one that we had at this time. So, you know, it's all very kid, family-friendly stuff for him. He did have the PlayStation 2, you know, at his mother's or whatever, but still, it was still kid game stuff. So I had a friend, and him and I both, he was my age, and he had kids the same age, and we both got, I think Game Informer was the magazine, you know, one of the video game magazines. I'm not sure if that was the one, but we both got the same one. And, you know, we would say, hey, look at this article, look at this, are you going to get that game, that kind of thing. So one day, he calls me up, and he says, Mike, did you see the review for this game called Fatal Frame, Crimson Butterfly? And I was like, no, I didn't see it. I probably just skipped over it. And he said, no, check it out. They gave it like a 9. It's a horror video game, and boy, they made it sound like it was really scary. Now, it caught his eye because he's sort of a real horror aficionado connoisseur. You know, he's into Dario Argento and, you know, all sorts of things. So, you know, he's very up on this. So it caught his eye, and he said it to me. And so I looked it up. I got to the page, and there it was, Crimson Butterfly, Fatal Frame, Crimson Butterfly. It was like, they gave it like a 9 or something, really high. And I thought, wow, that's really something, you know. And it said how scary it was. At one point, I think it said, you know, wear rubber pants so that when you pee yourself or whatever. And I was unfazed by it. I had watched horror movies my whole life, and you know, and I've seen a lot of horror movies, and I've never been scared. You know, things are startling. You know, there's always something that goes boo, you know, and it's scary. But you know, that could be in any kind of movie, you know, or any kind of you know, medium. So I never ever was really scared by any kind of horror movie or anything like that. So I was very unimpressed with this. Okay, and I thought, oh, these guys are babies, you know, whoever wrote this review or whatever. So I wanted to see for myself. Okay, so I was kind of like, all right, bring it on. Okay, this is scary. Let's see how scary this is. So I get the PlayStation from Noah. You know, I give him the GameCube to take to his mother's, and I take the PlayStation. And you know, I want to give it the full effect. You know, I'm gonna go in, you know, hardcore with this. It's a game, it's supposed to scare me. So I wait till the Friday night, till midnight. So I don't even put the game in the PlayStation 2 until midnight. Okay, I wanted to really get the effect. Good horror movies should be seen at midnight. So I wait till midnight. Um, there's no one in the apartment. Okay, there's no one. It's just me in the apartment. Noah's not there. I'm in between relationships like a good ENFP. So there's nobody in this apartment that I'm in. I've turned out all the lights. All the lights are off in the apartment. And last but not least, I smoke some grass. So I'm a little high. Okay, going in. Now, if you're a fan of this, and it's a cult-like fandom, most of you probably don't know this or not fans, but I'm sure there are people watching this who are fans. Now, if you're a fan and you're aware of these games, especially Crimson Butterfly, you realize how arrogant and stupid I am going in. What a fool. I mean, let's review. Okay, midnight, all alone in an apartment, lights out. I'm high, and I'm playing Crimson Butterfly, no less. A game, the scariest one of all three, a game that I have no idea what it's about, what's going on. I've been playing Mario Party for years, and I'm going right in cold. I have no idea. Okay, I start the game. All right. About 20 minutes in, I think I'm in the Kurosawa house by this time. About 20 minutes in, I go to reach over the lamp. Click! Holy shit! This is the scariest thing ever. I can't even believe it. I had like a panic attack. I went around my apartment. I turned on all the lights, you know. That whole playing it for the first time, I would actually stop at some point. I would be like, okay, I want to play Mario Kart or something. I don't want to, you know, and then I'd gotta gear up, play it again. One of my favorite moments in the game that first time through, and I think it was even that night, the bitch came out of me. I was a total little bitch. Okay, thank God I was by myself. I think, you know, now it's funny. But I'm in the I don't know. I think it's called the Osaka house, whatever. This village, this haunted village, and I'm trying to get this contraption going to open a door so I can cross a bridge to safety. Okay, a bridge between two houses. You know, the second floor, they're connected through a bridge. And I'm being chased by the ghost maiden of this game. You know, each game has this ghost maiden who's haunting the whole thing, who's mad and wants to just kill anybody who's in there. And this is the scariest one of all three games. It's Sai. Okay, Sai is this 15-year-old girl with this bloody kimono with this horrifying cackling laugh, and her face is all white. It's just awful. The scariest one of all three. And you know, when she chases you, you can't stop her with the camera. You just have to run and just stay, you know, keep your distance and try to just get away, whatever way they want you to get away. So I'm frantically running through these rooms on the second floor trying to find a doll, so, you know, a statue or something to get through the thing. And at one point, you know, I'm in a room and I have to hide from her in a closet, and, you know, there's a noise on the floor from my foot, you know, I hear it, I don't know. So it's scary. It's already scary. So I decide that, you know, before I go through whatever it is I'm going to go through now, I better go back to the last save point. It's one of those save point games. And, you know, as an old gamer, I'll tell you this, you can't save too many times in a game, really. Just do yourself a favor. I've had some horrible moments going back 20, 30 years with not saving, so I know what I'm talking about. So, but I'm paranoid at this point. Sai's around. I don't know what's happening. I'm scared. I got to go and save. So I go find the save point. And I go up to the door, and, you know, it's Japanese, it's sliding doors, and the door slides open, and there's Sai right in my face with this horrifying grin and widening eyes, the blood on the kimono, and I screamed like a 6-year-old. Okay, I went, ah! You know, and seeing this, and she reached out, I died, you know, it just fell, and I was like, oh, no, I gotta do this again, you know. So that's my first experience with this game, very funny, and a lot of fun, okay. So now, I told you that to tell you all this because this is something that's happened recently, and it's had this sort of typological thing going on that really, really fascinates me. And once again, it just reminded me why I love typology so much, and why I love doing this and being involved in, you know, in these videos and in MBTI and all that, because it was a really fascinating thing that happened, okay, recently with these games. So what's happened is recently Noah has started playing the Fatal Frame games, okay? Sort of retro. You know, we all get retro every now and then with our video games and go back 10 years, 20 years, whatever, to play something. And so he was digging around the PlayStation 2, and he saw the Fatal Frame games. I used to play him when he was younger, like 12, and he would watch and cover his eyes. But he probably hadn't played them or seen them in a while, and he never actually played them himself. And so this was his first time, like, actually playing as a gamer, playing the Fatal Frame series, okay? And so he has it all hooked up in his room, and he tells me about it. Lights off, lights are off in his room, okay. And I said to him, "Oh wow, you're gonna play, great." And I said, remember those are scary. And this is a quote. He says to me, "Dad, I'm not a crybaby NF like you. I'm not gonna be scared." Okay. So he goes in his room. I check on him a couple hours later, and he's clutching his pillow, playing the game. And I was like, "Oh, you're not a badass now. Now that you've had a run-in with a kusabi." That's the kusabi. So it was very funny. And so we kind of got back into these games again, and so we started playing these games, and we were playing the third one, Fatal Frame 3: The Tormented. Okay, that's the name of it. Underrated. Okay, I honestly had a good scare, a lot of fun with this game. It's as good as the others. Crimson Butterfly, the middle one's still the best one, but still, this one was good. It gets a bum rap. It doesn't deserve it. Okay, so and this is why we're playing it. Him and I are playing it because we like this one as much as we like the others. So we're playing it, and what's happening is I'm playing it. I got the controller and I'm playing it, and he's sort of sitting next to me, sort of, helping me through it, and co-pilot and talking about it as we go through it. And we're both having a good scare when things happen. And what this story is, what this whole thing I'm going to talk about now in this story is how in type there's this amazing difference between memory and perception. Okay, some really awesome stuff about typology with memory and perception came up when me and Noah were playing this. It was really very, very fascinating. Again, this is why I love this stuff so much. Okay, so the first one is about memory. Now, if you've ever played Fatal Frame 3, most of you probably haven't, Fatal Frame 3, the mansion you're in, is the most Byzantine, superfluous, maze-like mansion of all three of these games. Okay, it's so convoluted. You look at the map, and it's all, there's no direct point between any 2 points. You got to go up, then down, and then down a staircase to go up, so you can go left, so you can go right, and then back down again, and then you go to the right, and there's the room. There's no, you got to go round and round and round and round and up and down and around just to get anywhere. It's very, very complex. Now, in spite of that, Noah had like this photographic memory of the map. Okay, now he didn't play Fatal Frame 3 all the way through. He played about a third of the way, halfway, and then him and I started playing at one point. And I hadn't played in a while, so I was kind of like forgetting things. And then at one point, we got to a point in the game, and he says, "Dad, I haven't played past this point. I don't know what's going to happen." And then the scare just like jumped up in both of us, because I couldn't remember either. He would say it like, "Dad, I think this is the room." And like, "Oh yeah, that's right." But then, like, once he said that, he said it this very serious voice. I was like, "Oh boy, this is gonna get serious now." But in spite of that, in spite of only doing it halfway through one time, he had this photographic memory of the map. He could look at it and start rattling off where to go. Okay, so and he would do it really quick. I'd call the map screen up, and he would say, "Okay, Dad, you got to go left through that room, and then up that staircase, and then up that other staircase, and that's going to take you down, and then you go down into the basement. You turn right, you come back up, and then you go through to that other room. There's a ladder on the left. You go up." He'd give these very specific directions. Again, think of what I was saying in the communication video about the imperative way of speaking and all that. Okay, that's how he's taught. He's giving these very specific directions, very, very concrete. There's a map, there's a goal. We got to get from A to B. How do we do that? Very concrete memory of the map. Now, this is like my third or fourth time playing through this, to its completion, and I don't have that memory of the map at all. I know vaguely what direction things are, but I don't have that memory. However, what I do have, and this is what I mean by fascinating stuff about memory, my introverted sensing is terrible, so that's why I don't have that memory, but I have this very powerful emotion-laden memory from a very sad and scared and empathic place, because I've internalized whatever's going on in that room with whatever ghost. I've taken it all in, and I'm having this moment with the ghost and feeling the ghost and the story and all that. So as you click through rooms on the map, because he's telling me where to go, and I'm following it, clicking through each room. He says, "Okay, check on that and that." The name of the room comes up. Give a brief name of the room. So I'll click on something, and he'll be saying, "Okay, Dad, go into this room. Okay, look, Dad, that's woman combing hair room." And immediately I'll go into, "Oh, great, you mean the room with the woman who's combing her hair to the point where she's pulling it out because she's trying to make herself look nice for her husband who never came back, and she's inconsolable and grief-stricken and heartbroken, and she's losing her mind over it, and that's why she's wailing all the time as she's trying to kill you. And the truth of the matter is is that he didn't cheat on her with another woman. The crazy people in this house who are trying to stop the Hellgate, this cult, murdered him, and that's why he never came back, but they never told her. So she's been spending this whole time, even in the ghost world, thinking that she's been cheated on, but is desperate for him to come home and see how beautiful she is. So she's combing her hair to the point where it's coming out. Oh, also she's covered in blood, and blood's coming out of her eyes because she's apparently been picking at herself with her hairpin. So she's a cutter on top of being a hair puller. Oh, and that's right, she's the mother of the 10-year-old girl who got impaled at the bottom of that pit by her little friends. Oh, is that the room we're going through? Oh, awesome. Great. Again, we're going through it. And that's my memory. Now, here's the thing. If you play Fatal Frame 3, that's a real room. Like, it's still with me. The combing hair woman, she's got part of her hair on the wall. Stuff to deal with that. So, that's his memory versus my memory. Okay, his memory is very concrete, left, right, goal oriented, left, right, up, down, whatever. Mine's NF. Oh my God, this woman, isn't it horrible? She's, this horrible wailing ghost, and she thinks she's been cheated. She's been waiting for her lover until she died, and he never came. She didn't even know. This is an awful thing. So that's the first thing, memory. Now the second thing that happens to us, and this is really, really fascinating, and this is about perception, okay, and how you perceive things as your type. And this really hit home for me how awesome personality type is. Okay, so he's, I got the controller, I'm playing, and he's sort of helping me out. We're going through it together, but I'm the one with the controller. And this was one of those games where you can't move the viewpoint of where the camera is 360. In a lot of games, you can move the viewpoint on the toggle, so you can see any direction of the room or whatever. Then you can move your character, whatever. But you can't do that in this. So the camera is fixed from a certain angle in the room. Okay, it could be above you, it could be beneath you, it could be, you walk sideways past it or whatever. And it changes where you are in the room. So at one point in the room, it may be, you're looking up at yourself, at the character, and then you go to another room and you're looking, it's coming right at you, the camera angle or whatever. It switches up when you're in the room. Okay, now it's not that confusing, and actually the game uses it to its advantage in an awesome way, because you'll be in a room and it'll be at one camera angle and it'll be like, oh, nothing's going on in this room, just passing through, and then you'll pass to the other part of the room and the camera angle will switch, and sure enough, there's some fucking ghost horrible thing right behind you that's right there now that you didn't see before, and now it's there. Okay, horrifying. Another thing that happens, this is more comical, is that when a ghost is attacking, you got the camera and you're trying to dodge it or whatever, and you're running around the room. Well, the camera angle's switching every time you're running around from this ghost. So you get disoriented and lose where the ghost is. Like, oh my God, is it behind me? Is it in front of me? What do I do? Turn around. Hit the flash. It's kind of fun. So, and this is relevant to this story. So every now and then, but quite a few times, there'd be this communication gap between Noah and I, where he would give me directions and bad things would happen. Okay, so most of the time that didn't happen. He's like, okay, Dad, go through that door and then go up the thing. Okay, but sometimes it would go like this, like and it was always in a crisis. There'd be the ghost, the main ghost, Reiku, the place who I can't kill, who's chasing me through the mansion, and she's like 5 or 10 seconds behind me. I got to get somewhere to a room or something to lose her. And I'm running around, and Noah will say like, okay, and it'll be really tense, and Noah will say, Dad, turn left. I'll turn left, and boom, wall right there. Like, Noah, what are you doing? Whatever, and then he'll say, okay, I'll go, and you'll be running, and he'll say, Dad, turn right into the ghost. And you'll be like, Dad, what? You'll be like, Dad, what are you doing? Okay. Now this happens so often that Noah and I started getting angry with each other. Okay, and totally not happy with each other, genuinely angry. Okay, and our voices starting to get raised, and we were getting pissed off. And I was saying things like this. I was saying things like, okay, Noah, if you are not sure where I'm supposed to go, then just say nothing. You're not helping if you're giving me these vague directions. Why are you even doing that? You think you're doing me a favor? If you don't know where to go, then just shut up and I'll figure it out. Okay, that's what I was saying. And he was saying, Dad, are you stupid? You don't know your left from your right? What are those pills doing to you? Left, right. I mean, you've become dumb now. This is what he was saying to me. We're kind of yelling at each other. So here's what happens. So I'm in a corridor, okay? There's a corridor like this. So let's imagine that you, the viewer, are sitting where Noah and I am sitting, and you're looking at the screen the way we were looking at the screen, okay? From where your perspective. So there's a corridor, coming, and then the character is going, towards the camera, okay? In this corridor, okay? This corridor going in this camera. Okay. So again, one of these other things happens. He says, he says, "Dad, turn left." I turn left. Wall. Okay. And again, it starts up. "No, what the hell? What are you doing?" And so finally, he gets totally pissed off, flustered. He goes up to the TV and he puts his finger on the screen of the TV. Okay. And this is what he does. He goes, "Dad." Okay. And he puts his finger right up. Okay. And he goes, "Dad, left." Okay. Left. Right. He pushes the screen. Right. Up. Down. Okay. He does that. So, so I want you to kind of imagine what he's talking about, when I say, or when he says, he points like this, and he says, right. Okay. He says right. If you put your finger, let me go like this. If you put your finger, if we go tip to tip on our fingers, that's where he's pointing. He's literally touching the screen at that point. Okay. He's saying, "Dad, right." Okay. So you're right where your right is. Now that's his perception, very concrete. Something's happened on the left side of the screen, you do something to the left. Something's happened on the right side of the screen, you do right. It's very concrete. He's looking at the screen, what's happening on the screen, okay? Because he's an SJ. Now I'm an NF, okay? That is not what's happening to me in this game. You see, right now I'm a 44-year-old man. But when I'm playing Fatal Frame, I'm actually a 15-year-old Japanese girl named Miku. Okay, that's who I am. I'm very upset. I've had some PTSD stuff going on. I have a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. I was already in another haunted mansion looking for my brother Mafuyu, who got spirited away with this rope maiden because they had to hold a hell door shut. Okay, I lost him. Keep in mind, I also saw my own mother hang herself because of ghosts on top of that. And now I'm in this other haunted dream mansion running around from ghosts because Ray couldn't get over her boyfriend's death in the car accident, whatever. Now I'm stuck in this thing. And now I'm running from this other killer ghost again. I'm scared. I'm upset. I'm a 15-year-old girl. Okay? And I am totally role-playing when I play all my games. I am in it. So, again, let's go back to the perspective. So, there's a wall here. There's a wall here. I'm coming towards I'm coming towards you, and he says, "Dad, turn left." I turn left. Okay? I'm going this way. This is my left hand. This is my right hand, see? And so I turn to the left. That's my left, me being Miku, a 15-year-old Japanese girl, because that's who I am. My name is Miku. I'm Japanese. This is my left. This is my right. You say turn left. I turn left. Now, the funny thing about that was that there was no, and I realized this later, there was no kind of cognition or metacognition on my part on this issue. Okay? It was instantaneous. It's not like I sat there and said, okay, this is Miku, and I'm facing, and I really have to think about it, and I have to turn left. I immediately turned left. Like, I was her. I had her perspective. He said, turn to the left. I turned to the left. Okay? And think about it this way. I'm not sitting where I'm sitting where you're sitting, so it's reversed, just like it's reversed on your screen now, but I immediately knew. He'd say turn left, I turn to left, all right? Now, this still became comical, even though we talked about this and figured this out. It still became comical because we're still having this little bit of disconnect, so there'd always be this moment where, Miku or Ray or whatever I was playing, would be, like, spinning around, because he'd say, like, okay, turn left. I'd be like, left, okay, wait, your left or my left? What do you mean? Like, the character, no, my left, Dad. Whatever. There would always be this moment going back and forth. He tried it too, and I would say, left. Oh, he must be here. No, Dad, you're left. Miko's left. And then this is the moment the ghosts are coming and we're like spinning and we're screaming and whatever. Okay, so that's my Fatal Frame story. And so first of all, if you can get a hold of these games, absolutely check them out. They totally hold up. Very scary stuff. Do not smoke grass before you play these games, though. Boy, that was some scary stuff. I'll never do that. I've never done that again. I'm like, forget it. Going back to Mario Kart with that. So, but they're very scary and they're very NF. Again, very emotional. Everything is about these relationships, and the maidens are always in love, and that's why this all gets screwed up. Or one of the maidens is in love and screws it up, and this family stuff. So it's very NF, deep emotional stuff as to why the ghosts are ghosts and why this is all going down. Okay, very very good stuff. So check it out. And all right, so if you're on the forum, post some stuff. You don't have to make a video, but post some stuff about your favorite book or game or show or movie and how you reacted to it and why you like it based on your type. All right, thank you. All right, it's raining again.